What's up guys, thanks for tuning in on today's episode of Custom Car Reviews. I'm your host Gabe, and today we're going to be looking at this 2019 Vermilion Red McLaren 600LT. Now the 600 in the name 600LT derives from the metric horsepower that this car has, which is actually 592, but that's not as marketable as 600. And the LT actually stems from the F1 Longtail, which is a tracked out version of the F1 McLaren. The 600LT borrows a lot of very positive characteristics from already very successful cars in the McLaren lineup, like the 570S, which actually is the base for this car, and the McLaren Senna. Today we're going to go over some of those characteristics and more. So I first want to start off with the McLaren 600LT's performance capabilities and information. The McLaren 600LT is fitted with a 3.8 liter V8 twin turbocharged engine that is actually seen in many of the McLaren models like the 570S and the McLaren Senna as well. That power is delivered by a 7-speed dual clutch transmission that is lightning fast, and we will see as the review progresses. Now, unlike the baby brother 570S, this has 30 horsepower more, and it comes with 14 pound-feet of torque more than the 570S. Combining this with over 200 pounds in weight savings, McLaren's unbeatable launch control system, these ultra grippy Trofeo R tires, which are 285s in the back, that twin turbocharged engine sends this car 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds, or 10.4 seconds on the quarter mile. That is insane. Now the numbers on this car is going to look a little bit different than the stock one, simply because this has a DME tune on it and downpipes. This is estimated to have 630 wheel horsepower. Now remember how I said that this had some 570S blood in this car? First notable similarities in this car actually comes from the front of the car, the front fascia, and that's primarily seen with the headlights of this car. Now you'll see how they both have that McLaren logo design headlight. Now once we start going down, we start to see that the similarities start to fade away. The 600LT splitter is physically a lot larger and longer than the 570S is, and the carbon fiber splitter starts to branch out into winglets that run along the front part of the fender, and it really adds for that extra downforce that again helps it when it comes to cornering and keeping the car on the ground. When we look at the 600LT's profile, again we see some striking similarities between the 570S and the 600LT, but if we actually look a little bit closer, we'll see that the 600LT is actually a lot longer, hence the long tail in the names. I want to take the time to point out just how awesome these door designs are. Not only do they look like there's something out of Star Wars, but they're actually 100% functional. It allows for the air to channel in through the door and into the air intake, which actually helps to cool down the engine. And you also see McLaren's emphasis on downforce with the side skirts that are again made of complete carbon fiber, and they have this really cool design that makes it kind of look like it's a shark fin and a shark tail, so that's actually really cool. Now in the rear of the car, you'll also see some striking similarities between the 570S and the 600LT, primarily with the taillight design, that really nice, elegant look, and I'm pretty sure they took the time to make it so beautiful because they knew that there was going to be a lot of cars behind it appreciating the look. The differences again start to fade away as you move towards the bottom of the rear diffuser, and the diffuser is completely made up of carbon fiber. Now the diffuser has some very large fins that are larger than the 570S's, and towards the side you do see how these winglets start to form on the bottom part of the rear diffuser. So again, that allows for functionality for air to channel out. So it's really interesting how that was all played out. And you can't miss the fact that the 600LT has the exhaust that has been mounted on top of the engine cover in order to save weight, to avoid those crazy tubings that you have to do when it comes to mid-engine cars. That is the only car I think on the market that I can think of that has that type of design. And let's not forget that massive spoiler that again helps to keep the car planted by applying some downforce that is very unique to the 600LT as opposed to the 570S. Now the interior of the car is just as impressive as the exterior. When you step inside the car, the first thing that you really notice are these McLaren Senna bucket seats with the leather padding. Personally, I don't really like these seats. It kind of makes me feel like I'm in a coffin, and I do see the functionality of it. It does hold you in place, and the leather padding does help a lot. And of course, the purpose of this car is weight saving, so there's not really a lot of place for storage. There's actually little compartments on the doors. You have the center console does have a little place to store maybe your phone, and you do have a cup holder here and there and some little nets around, but really this car's main focus is not storage or convenience. I love the simplicity of the design because ultimately it comes down to the steering wheel, which is great. There's not a lot of like little amenities on it. It's just pure racing. You also have the infotainment screen. It's perfect. It's actually pretty big, and it's touchscreen as well, so that's really cool. And you also have the center console that has all the gears and of course the performance and functionality options. And it's really cool how they're dials and buttons at the same time. So you do feel like you're part of like this crazy piloting or spaceship starting mechanism. So now that we've talked a little bit about the exterior characteristics, the performance stats, and also looked at the interior, let's take this car out for a drive. But the first thing we want to do is get an exhaust clip of that 3.8 liter twin turbocharged V8. Oh my god. It's definitely not your conventional V8 sound like, let's say, a Mustang or a Camaro, but it does sound really good. So guys, let's get this car on the road. So for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna be driving this on the track mode. You can tell that this is a track car because there's literally no sound insulation whatsoever. Let's do our first pull of the day, guys. Oh my god, what? So one of the crazy things about this car that you will not get in any other car, I think, on the market is the fact that it, from the factory, shoots flames. Now, this one, it has a DME tune with a downpipe, so this one's really wild and really aggressive, and it's just so much taller and there's just no form to it. When you look back in the rearview mirror, you will actually see the flames shoot out, and I think that is such an epic touch, and it's, again, fully functional. Unbelievably fast, guys. When you're driving at low speeds, I do notice that the transmission is very quick, and of course when you're really going through the RPMs and just ripping it, it is really fast as well. But I will say that this car, I don't know why, for a car that is twin turboed, it is kind of laggy. Having a twin turbo car would actually remedy that, but in this car it does feel kind of laggy, but it does build the boost and the anticipation is great, so that's pretty awesome. Let's do another pull right here. Yeah! Oh! Unbelievably good on the corners. This gives you the confidence to give it that gas and the car will just grip and just send you off. Let's try another corner here. Yeah, that's good grip, all right. Conservatively, the car does jump up and down a lot due to the suspension, and of course it does have the track suspension enabled. But I'm actually very surprised at just how easy it is to drive and how comfortable it is with the seats and everything. But we don't want to drive conservative right now. And the brakes, oh my god, the brakes on this car is just insane. Fun fact, the Senna and the 600LT have the similar braking process, so no wonder that this car brakes so damn well. Oh my god, do you hear that? like God is whipping the earth with a divine whip, and oh, it just sounds amazing. Wow. All right, guys, so I think it is now time to return the car to its rightful owner and conclude this video. All right, guys, so that is the review for today. I hope you guys found this video informative and entertaining, just how I found this entertaining to drive. What an amazing experience that I had with the 600LT. What just a beautiful car. The whole performance, everything is synchronized to just be this absolute track monster, and I didn't even take it to the track or really unlock its true potentials. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like. Don't forget to put on the notification button so you don't miss any of my videos or of my reviews. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in on the video, and I will catch you next time.